Hari Om. Welcome to the new episode of Home Cooking. Today we'll be learning a sweet item which you can make it for the Diwali that is coming up. And it's very easy to make and anyone can do it very quickly and easily. Let's see the ingredient list. For the nutty burfi, take a cup of peanuts. It can be raw peanuts with skin. So we are going to use it with skin, raw peanuts, not roasted and unsalted. Now put it in the blender and you have to make it into a fine powder. Since it is raw, I know it will be a little clumpy when you grind it, but let's see. It comes a little powdery, but don't think it will be like a dry powder, but you will see something like this once you blend it. You will see some grainy kind of a thing, and the color is also a little brown because we are blending it with the skin of the peanuts. Now add the 1 cup of coconut to it and in the blender and blend it. This coconut can be either freshly grated or it can be thawed, frozen coconut too. So once you blend it and take it out, this is how it looks. Both the peanuts and the coconuts are nicely ground together. Now let's start the process of making the sugar syrup. Take a pan and put the 1.5 cups of the sugar which we have taken aside. Add it to the pan and keep the flame in medium. Once it is in the pan, to make the syrup so that the sugar melts and becomes caramelized, you have to add little water to it. So add half cup of water, or even less than that is also fine. Add half cup of water in low flame and to this sugar, 1.5 cups of sugar to make the sugar syrup. Make sure keep stirring it and the sugar nicely melts and it forms a nice syrup. Once it starts melting, you will see that it starts bubbling. So keep stirring it and at the medium heat, and make sure you can see the sugar getting caramelized like this. And make sure you keep stirring it from the outer side towards the inner, so that the raw sugar doesn't stick to the outer side. Make sure the outer of the pan is clean. So from outer towards inner, you keep stirring it and the sugar melts, and you can see that from a dark white syrup, it will turn into something like a glassy syrup. Okay. Now add the half teaspoon of cardamom powder to the syrup and keep stirring it nicely. So it blends in very well with the syrup, and then it gives a good fragrance to the burfi which we are going to make. And make sure even the cardamom doesn't stick to the sides, so keep stirring from the outside to the inwards. So that way the sugar syrup nicely blends the cardamom into it. Once the syrup is ready, you will see all the bubbles coming up on top, and that is when you know the syrup is it's ready and we can move on. Now take the cup of the blended peanuts and the coconut and add it to the syrup that is boiling. Like, okay, the flame is in the medium still. Keep stirring it. As you add the ground peanuts and the coconut to the syrup, you have to briskly keep stirring it. Make sure you don't clump it. So keep stirring it from outer towards the inner so that all the ground coconut and the peanut powder comes together, nicely coated and comes together. You can see that is happening. So make sure you nicely stir it and turn it. Now is the time to add the half cup of dry milk powder, which we have kept aside. Now you add that. The milk gives that binding, and also along with the sugar it gives a very nice taste to it, that milky taste to it, like a burfi taste. So add that and try to fold it in with the mixture, and this is how it looks once you nicely fold it in and all the mixture is turned together. Once at this time, you have to add the ghee, which we have kept the 4 teaspoons. Use 3 teaspoons out of it and keep 1 teaspoon for later use. And then keep stirring the mixture after adding the ghee so that the ghee gets sunken in and the whole burfi mixture will absorb it. And it will start forming to particular, it comes out of the pan. You can see that while you're stirring it, you can see it folding nicely and it doesn't stick to the pan anymore because of the ghee. It folds very nicely. So, and keep stirring it. You will know the consistency getting thicker as time goes by, and at the medium flame you keep stirring it. Once you know the consistency while stirring it, you know that it is getting thicker, then you know it is ready to pour it onto a plate. Take a plate, grease it with the little ghee which you have kept aside, little bit of it, and grease the plate and keep the remaining ghee for later use. Now put all the paste what you have created for the burfi from the pan onto the plate. Nicely scrape it and level it. For leveling is when you need the rest of the ghee. So take a spoon and at the bottom of the spoon put some ghee and then start patting it on top of the burfi you have poured it onto the plate, and even it out and spread it smoothly so that it forms a thin layer and the burfi becomes at leveled, not like one side is higher and one side is lower. Make sure with the ghee at the back of the spoon, pat it and the burfi spreads nicely. After 5 to 10 minutes, not too cold but kind of after, once the plate is easy to hold, take a knife and start marking lines vertical and crisscross so that nice diamond shaped for the burfi is formed. Just make it one straight line. When it is soft, okay, it should not be too hard. So don't wait too long. Don't wait it to get it cooled completely. Let it cool. After the lines are drawn, let it cool. And then you flip the plate. All the burfi will come out of it. If it doesn't, take it to the stove and heat the bottom a little bit and then tap it upward down. All the burfis will come out. Now our nutty burfi is ready for Diwali. We are ready with the burfi. Are you ready to make it and make it enjoyable Diwali for all of us? Have fun. Hari Om.